I'm very happy so many of you have come over here. Now, who has ever heard about FuturICT? So quite a few, actually almost everyone. So I'd like to give you the history of this project and the future. So this is how it started. Actually back in 2010 already, we were coming up with ideas what to do with digital technology in order to improve the state of the world. And so there was this idea to create a planetary nervous system for measurement and awareness, real-time feedback, a living Earth simulator for interactive virtual world exploration, and also a global participatory platform for crowdsourcing and self-regulation and all this. And of course it was much more differentiated what we wanted to do, a lot of different focus areas and work packages. And so this is the overview. Besides the planetary nervous system and living Earth simulator and global participatory platform, we wanted to build socially inspired information communication technology, bring up an area of global systems science, and then build all sorts of exploratories for financial systems, for health and epidemics, for crime, conflict, risk and resilience, sustainable cities, smart energy systems, environment and sustainability, and also build an innovation accelerator. And across everything, ethics would be important to consider. And being able to mobilize scientific communities all over the world have been integrating natural scientists with engineers, with social scientists. That was really a big leap forward, and more than 25 countries in Europe were participating, and also the United States, Japan, China, Singapore, Australia, Israel, and so on and so on and so on. And there were a hell lot of academic institutions interested in this and willing to support this, and research organizations and businesses. And actually we were also leading this competition in terms of public interest. And then, you know, what happened, the Human Brain Project in Graphene got the flagships and we got nothing. And anyway, this didn't stop us. And we have published these books over here, Why Society is a Complex Matter, and also this more than 600-page volume about participatory science and computing for our complex world. And I also managed to publish this Nature paper about globally networked risks and how to respond. Maybe I read just the first paragraph. So today, strongly connected global networks have produced highly interdependent systems that we do not understand and cannot control well. These systems are vulnerable to failure at all scales, posing serious threats to society even when external shocks are absent. As the complexity and interaction strengths in our networks will increase, man-made systems can become unstable, creating uncontrollable situations even when decision makers are well skilled, have all data and technology at their disposal, and do their best. And so basically the world would have to be redesigned in order to cope with that highly interconnected world. And in the years following, data science was brought up as a new scientific field. There's also a Swiss Data Science Center, for example. Computational social science became a very lively research field, and also global system science came up. We have furthermore worked on a nervous net platform within the very limited budget that we had. There's an app that you can use. The idea was basically that we citizens could use our smartphones and other devices to collect data for everyone as a public good, and in a way that's consistent with informational self-determination. We've been working on a node game platform, a platform for online experiment, and in this way we can really learn about human nature. We can learn how to improve certain kind of settings and situations, and also citizen science based on crowdsourcing techniques has become more important. The University of Zurich and ETH Zurich together have also brought up a citizen science center. We've furthermore been working on this Grippenapp app, which is basically inspired by participatory health services, so run by citizens, for citizens. And some colleagues did also extremely cool stuff. For example, it's possible to map the world in 3D based on all the pictures that people upload on the web. Mark Qualify's team is very well known for this, and so quite a few things have actually happened, even those constraints that we had. But however, it turned out that something else was happening, and I was warning of this already back in 2011. And so I was writing, there's already a US copy of parts of FuturICT, but they forgot all the ASICs. So what has happened? And this is unfortunately a serious thing. So first of all, yes, this idea of a planetary nervous system was pushed forward prominently. This is a very nice book about big data, and this was the foreword, so prominently placed, and you can imagine that this was pushed forward even though the public didn't learn about it. And the military was building a prediction machine. And by the way, not only a prediction machine, also something which is called big mechanism, which is there basically to steer people's thinking and behavior. And actually, the work on these kind of technology is older than FuturICT. Sentient World was a platform that was trying basically to simulate the entire world. And so every citizen would be represented by a black box that can learn with machine learning and would be fed with personal data, actually surveillance data that has been collected about all of us, a hell lot of data in fact, and so they would create digital doubles of us that would behave very similar to us and do world simulation, for example, with these two-nose chips, or maybe with the modern quantum computers that probably can do more, at least for the military, than we know today. So this is an overview that Wikipedia was giving about, for example, the D-Wave system, which has 2048 qubits. You can see over here, this is mainly used by military companies. Virginia Tech is probably CIA, I guess, and then there's Google and NASA and Volkswagen. They basically took it out, so you won't see Volkswagen anymore, and you can ask yourself what's going on there. So basically what happened is there was a new political system in the making, and we all know since Snowden and basically all the data that were collected by companies about us, and there are probably thousands of them, most of them you don't even know by name. We're basically feeding this data to the NSA and probably CIA too, and who knows whom else. And so there is big data about the world and about us, and personal data. So this company you may not even have heard about, Axon Global, is collecting data about 64,000 social media providers. So Twitter and Facebook are just two of them. They have really enormous data sets, and they even say we have got you covered, And so this data basically goes into deep learning systems in order to learn about you, your personality, your psychology, and there's a company called Crystal that even advertised their services with see anyone's personality, of course including yours. And so basically there was a pretty detailed picture that was made about everyone, much more detailed than this, which shows already quite a bit about the personality of that person and the activity patterns. And so what was also done was basically map out all the cognitive biases of human brains. The human brain runs on just 100 watts, so it takes shortcuts, it makes simplifications, and that unfortunately can be used to trick the brain, and all those possibilities to trick the brain have been mapped out, and basically digital ways of manipulating us have been elaborated by digital means. So basically for each of these tricks there is a digital way of tricking us, and that has been pushed forward by secret services such as GCHQ from Great Britain. If you're interested in this, then you have to read about J-Trick. We have learned about this also through Edward Snowden, but the thing we didn't believe at that time is that this would not only be applied against terrorists and criminals and maybe foreign governments, it would be applied to everyone, including all of ourselves, right? So basically the point is they've learned to manipulate us through personalized information for marketing purposes, for political purposes, for all sorts of purposes, and this is the outcome, basically. And if you don't believe this, then I recommend you to watch this nice movie of Tristan Harris, who has given a TED talk in which he explains how a handful of tech companies controls billions of minds every day. He has been working in a Google control room, so he must know, right? And this is basically guiding today's attempts to create a more effective governance methods. And officially, nudging is the method that's being used. They didn't tell us though that nudging was combined with big data about each and every one of us, which we call big nudging. And this book was published, I think, in 2007 or 8 by Richard Thaler and Cass Sunstein. And Richard Thaler also then wrote this book about misbehaving, and you can see over there, basically he thinks that everyone should have a place in society and do exactly what is expected, right? And actually lots of birds don't fly like this. They're not crystalline, you know. They're self-organized. There's not even a leading bird. So this is a fascist pattern, and birds don't behave like this. Now, Richard Thaler actually got the Nobel Prize for this. What happened to Cass Sunstein? He didn't get anything because he wrote this book, The Ethics of Influence. He got concerned about what was going on and see what happened to the world. Now China is testing that citizen score system where basically everyone is being rated, just as in the Karma Police program by the GCHQ, the British Secret Service. So basically everything they do or don't do would get plus or minus points. If they cross the road when there's a red light, minus points. If they pay their rent or their taxes a bit later, minus points. If they read critical political news, minus points. If they have the wrong friends who may read critical news, minus points. If they don't visit their grandmother frequently, enough, minus points. And then in the end, your score determines what kind of jobs you can get, the countries you can travel to, how much you have to pay for your loan, and how fast your internet will be, and also whether you can take the fast train or not. So this is technological totalitarianism that has happened, and we really need to ask ourselves, is there a digital fascism rising? And so we said, stop. No, this is not the way how we imagine the digital future. We can do it better. And so we were publishing this paper in Scientific American, Will Democracy Survive Big Data and Artificial Intelligence? Appeared before in Spectrum der Wissenschaft, Digital Manifest, and made a big splash. And so we have been trying to guide the way into a better digital future, which we call digitization 2.0 actually. And so we said, we shouldn't be running the world through war rooms. We should build peace rooms instead, right? And peace rooms would be different from war rooms in that they have more transparency, would operate in a democratic framework. It would be run by interdisciplinary teams of leading international scientists. There would be ethics experts giving guidance. There would be a multi-perspective approach and participatory opportunities for civil society, NGOs, citizen science, crowdsourcing, and so on. And that was also published in Nature. And then later on, the World Economic Forum and the Project Syndicate published this piece on how we can engineer a more responsible digital future. And actually the IEEE is also pushing in this direction. I mean, the biggest engineering club in the world, ethically aligned design. This is what they're trying to establish as a standard. And then the question is really, what is design for values about? First of all, it's important to realize that a society will only thrive if there's not only just one value. There are many things that matter, including environment, health, education, and so on. We in principle know this, right? We just need to build it into our platforms. And then, of course, democracy is the outcome of a long historical path. We've taken wars and revolution, and we've learned a lot of lessons. So let's don't throw it just away. Let's improve upon it. But there are a lot of things that make democracies work well. Swiss democracy, probably the best example in the world. So why don't we implement this in a digital platform and export it to other countries? Because coordinating people's decisions is a difficult task, right? And Switzerland is most advanced. So we should upgrade democracy digitally, and so we should mobilize collective intelligence and learn how to make democracy work in the digital age. An article we wrote for Huffington Post, Stefan Klauser and I together. And there was also a publication in Nature about building digital democracy. And the point is really to bring the best ideas of many minds together. Why is this important? Because it turns out whenever there is a complex problem, then a single perspective or solution would not be the best thing that you can do. And here's just one example, but there are many. The Netflix prize. So basically, they wanted to give their customers the best recommendations. They offered $1 million to the one who came up with the best recommender algorithm, and nobody managed really to reach the goal and jump over the threshold that was demanded. But these were the best teams over here. I think the competition extended over 2 years at least, and there were thousands of competitors. Those were the best, and then eventually they got impatient and decided to combine the best solution with, say, the second best and the third best. You think, how stupid, it can only deteriorate the best solution, right? Just the opposite happened. The combined solution was much better, and they won the prize together. And this is the success principle in a complex world, to combine different perspectives. And we need platforms for this, to collect arguments, to flesh out the different perspectives. AI could help with this, and then bring representatives of those different perspectives together at a round table to work out innovative, integrated solutions that would benefit as many people as possible. And one framework that would allow this collective intelligence to happen is City Olympics or city challenges, and Stefan and I and many of us are working on this. So basically the idea is that every few years, cities around the world would engage in a friendly competition for the best solution to the problems that humanity has to solve, such as better energy, environmental, and climate solutions. There would be different disciplines, there would be different city categories, and big ones, small ones, and so on. And the point is, the competition and the contributions would be paid by the cities from taxpayers' money, but the outcome would be open source and Creative Commons. That means everyone could take it, and in other cities could pick what they need, what is kind of fitting their budget and their culture and their conditions best. Companies could take it, develop it further. Cities could combine those different solutions, develop it further. NGOs, scientific institutions, everyone could contribute. So we would combine competition with cooperation, and in this way really push progress forward much more quickly. And that implies a new version of globalization, which we call localization, which is based on thinking global but acting local and diverse, to experiment, to learn from each other, and to help each other. That's the way forward, and we have proposed that in Vienna, and shortly after this, the idea was taken up by this American Cities Climate Challenge, and it was supported with 70 million in the first year. And in the meantime, there's also a global climate city challenge, and there is furthermore this one planet city challenge. So you see how quickly this idea is spread, and now it could be really driven forward by Switzerland. That was my hope, really, because we have so many international institutions here. It really fit this country perfectly. And so basically we would head towards self-organization, which is kind of the paradigm for complex systems, and that means also to go from power to empowerment. Why is this? Now, first of all, yes, processing power is increasing exponentially, but data volume is growing even faster, and that means that we cannot process all the data that we produce. Even the percentage of data that we cannot process, dark data, is increasing over time. So we need to know what part of the data to process and in what way. That's number one. Number two, it turns out even though we have more data than ever and the best technology than we ever had in the human history, we're losing control of the world. And that's because systemic complexity is growing even faster as we network the world. And so basically we need a new control paradigm, which is distributed control and self-organization. So basically it means to go away from over-regulation and detailed laws towards systems that would be able to support self-organization. And actually self-organization can be pretty effective if you design systems for it. So this is just an example. As you can see over here, it works so well because we have unidirectional traffic flow in the front and unidirectional traffic flow in the back. And there's a buffer in between where basically everyone can adjust the speed in such a way that would be a gap in the flow so you can cross the flow. And most of the time people don't have to stop over here. Of course, we can do that much better now with digital technology, namely the Internet of Things, right? So 300 years after Adam Smith's concept of the invisible hand, we can finally make it work with technology, right? And here is an example. Do I have enough time to play this? So basically, what we're seeing here is a computer simulation of the annoying stop-and-go traffic jams that we're suffering from every day. And eventually you will get annoyed about it and we'll have to change the system. And first of all, let's show the current situation. And now really we don't want to take the car anymore, we'll take a helicopter instead. And this allows us to see that there is an on-ramp, so a few cars are trying to sneak in the freeway. That produces small disruptions of the flow. Those are being amplified, and that causes a stop-and-go traffic. Now assume, however, we would equip those cars with radar sensors that would measure distances and relative velocities, and the cars would accelerate autonomously, and of course brake as well. And so we have a traffic assistance system that allows to dissolve the traffic jam even though the same number of cars is still entering the system, right? How did we do that? We don't need a traffic control center for this. We just change the interactions between the cars slightly. This is called mechanism design. And actually the effect even happens if you say 30% of the cars only. This is what we mean with self-optimization. So the trick really is to have real-time measurement, allow for real-time feedback, and in this way change the interaction in a way that through self-optimization the desired outcome would happen. And we've been working also on systems for cities where traffic flows would control the traffic lights rather than the other way around. And bottom-up control, and it turns out this is able to produce beautiful green waves, and it's very efficient, more efficient than state-of-the-art control systems with the traffic control center. And you can see that we could save a lot of travel times for public transport, for motorized traffic, for pedestrian cyclists, and of course it would also be good for our environment, right? And the first cities have started to implement this successfully. Now, all of this is interesting for complex systems, and you cannot strictly optimize in real time because they're all the time changing. And similar systems where decentralized approaches would be interesting are smart grids, but also Industry 4.0, where now basically the products could talk to the machine and tell them what to do with them, and also products could talk to products and say, hey, I have to be delivered soon, let me overtake please. And so basically products could become smart, and totally new self-organized production schedules would be possible. So with this, we're basically heading towards rethinking our supply chains and our economy. At the moment, every one of us is producing 50 tons of waste in a lifetime. And this is of course including furniture and cars and computers and smartphones and a lot of things that other people could use. So I don't think there's a shortage of resources on this planet. We're just not using those resources well. So how could we change that? It doesn't work well with more regulations. Instead, the idea is to use the Internet of Things to measure externalities. That means the impact that humans have on their environment and other people. So we could basically measure noise and CO2 and all sorts of waste and garbage, and maybe unemployment, things that we'd like to reduce, and other things we'd like to improve, such as health, education, new jobs, reusage of resources, recycling, all these kind of things. And we have been working on this already for a couple of years. So we brought this blockchain and Internet of Things school up in 2016 and repeated this in 2018. It was a big success. There were 150 students and I think 28 or so projects, from energy to sustainability, from finance to democracy and more. It's absolutely amazing what these 80 students and international students have been doing in just a week. And we had a repetition of this scheme just 2 weeks ago called BESS. Again, 150 students, and some of the outcomes will be presented over here. So the point is, we'd like to combine the Internet of Things with blockchain technology in order to have this real-time feedback, real-time incentive schemes, real-time coordination, but multidimensional, right? So the money system, in a sense, is one-dimensional, one could say. However, complex systems don't run on a one-dimensional control. Our body, our ecology, are based on many real-time feedbacks. So the water cycle, carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, minerals, all of that has separately to be fed back in the right way. And so our economy, our world is also complex, so we need a multi-dimensional real-time feedback and control system. And for example, with blockchain technology combined with the Internet of Things, we can now build this and thereby create new forces in our economy, in our markets, towards a more sustainable and also socially friendly world. We can create incentives for environmental friendly production. So you could earn some recycling coins, say, right? And so it would make it really profitable to work for the environment and work for society. And of course, this eventually would change supply chains towards a circular economy and sharing economy, and in this way resources in the world would be enough for everyone. We could all have a better life, I guess, with the same resources if we just reorganize the use of them. And a similar approach can also be used for our society altogether. We know this since Nobel Prize winner Elinor Ostrom, who made studies in Switzerland to figure out that self-governance can be efficient if you just use the right design principles. And so, yes, we can build digital assistants to help people to perform better, to be better informed, to cooperate in all this. So in a diverse world, the right action is not to slash the diversity, but to create a basis for interoperability and co-learning. And I've been working on a patent for this. It's called Interaction Support Processor, and the idea is basically that we would classify interactions between people or companies and people and the environment and so on into different categories, such as lose-lose, win-win, and win-lose situation. There are two of them, and depending on this, there would be different causes of action. And so we could build digital assistants really to help us in all these situations perform better and create more wealth. And also in the social sense, prosperity is maybe the better word. And so we could help people actually in the self-organization through digital assistance, and augmented reality and mixed reality would be very helpful tools for this, for knowledge sharing, for co-learning, from making progress together as humanity as quickly as possible and as quickly as necessary, because there's a huge pressure to transform this world to become sustainable quickly. We can build digital assistants to boost creativity. We can build digital assistants to support cooperation, and we could have platforms that allow them basically to arrange their own projects. It's called social computing, right? Not everyone has studied business and has studied to be an entrepreneur, but everyone has ideas what he or she wants to do in their lifetime. So give them the tools to do it. So I imagine in the future everyone would be involved in different kinds of projects. Economic projects, social projects, ecological projects, cultural projects. Some of them we would coordinate, and others we would support those projects to succeed. These platforms would help us to set it up, to find the right partners for those projects with the right skills, to bring those skills together, to schedule the activities, to plan the use of resources and all this. And in this way, we could all be working on a much higher level and learning from each other much more quickly and make a contribution to this transformation of our society towards the digital and sustainable society of the future in which we want to live, a participatory society where everyone matters. So these are, I believe, the success principles for a complex world in the future: co-learning, co-creation, coordination, cooperation, co-evolution. And we should engage into discovering and using and combining the success principles underlying different cultures. Countries are full of success principles, and just learn how to use this and combine it. So we shouldn't fight against each other because we could learn so much from each other. So be a game changer. There's a new game to be played in the future. The monopoly is the game of the old material age. The digital age is different. Digital is more or less unlimited. There's really potential for prosperity for everyone if we just don't copy the material age and transform it into a digital version of the old. And so we should build a new kind of society, and I would call it sociopolis, right? So basically, we would all contribute to this better future that we all want to live in and we want to profit from. And another point to make it happen is that we could actually transform our society from a market-conform democracy to a democratic capitalism. Sebastian Thun, who has been leading Google X, and he was the mastermind also of Google self-driving cars, he said only 1% of all things have been invented. Most inventions haven't been made, so how can we change this? I mean, you have a lot of ideas, but many of them you cannot realize. And partly because we don't have, I mean, not everyone, of course, at least, has the resources to do it. So in the past, we had a money system was feeding in fiat money from the top, and instead we could feed it in from the bottom, actually. And the idea that I'd like to propose is an investment premium that everyone would get every month, and we could use it as a tool for crowdfunding for all. So this money would not be for yourself, it would be to be given to other people who have great ideas and engage for society, for culture, for the environment, and do the things you want to see happen, right? So that would be crowdfunding for all, and also this idea is eventually taking up speed. So we see participatory budgeting come up in various cities, and also in Switzerland. So see next Zurich, there's this idea for a participatory budgeting. So it's coming, and it's important also, I believe, for the economy, because it's not so easy to build a Silicon Valley in a place different from the Silicon Valley, because we're late, let's face it. And digital innovation is accelerating in an exponential way. So even if we would manage to mobilize as much resources, and if people would work as hard and everything, we would be able to accelerate at the same pace. Given the delay, the distance would be ever larger. We couldn't catch up if we just copy the success principle of the Silicon Valley, and I think we're seeing this problem. The only way of solving it is really empowering people, allowing for combinatorial innovation, such that we would have an information and innovation production service ecosystem and benefit from each other's ideas and data and activities, and this would create a super exponential growth, a factorial growth, and that would overtake eventually this exponential function. So this is the way to succeed and prosper in the future. So I'm finishing up by saying the important success principles for the digital society of the future are those: collective intelligence for our society, combinatorial innovation for our economy, and empowerment of everyone by digital assistance. So let's do it together. Thank you very much.